Good morning, and welcome to Apple Park.
A couple months ago, I started production on a recreation of an Apple event, and as janky as it was, people seemed to love it in the comments. One of the most common requests was to make a behind-the-scenes video explaining how we did it. This is that. I'll be analyzing the scripting, shooting, and renders that we did to make the event as close to Apple as we could. We started writing the script all the way back in January, so it had to be updated constantly as leaks and stuff changed. Zell and I collaborated on the script using this collaboration software called Notion, which I use for all my videos, and it actually proved to be super helpful throughout the entire duration of the project. Scripting was actually one of the most frustrating parts of making the event, because we would use information to create the scripts, and then to create our shots, and then to create the renders, but then if that information changed, which, trust me, it did a lot, we would have to go back and change the script and everything that followed that. Okay, let's talk about shooting the actual event. The biggest shoot day 1, gave us enough footage for the entire first half of the Apple event. So it's all the presenter footage you see for Mac Pro, Apple Watch SE, and Apple Watch Series 11. The original plan was to shoot the main shots on the Sony FX30, with this mount on the top that let us shoot with an iPhone 16 Pro at the same time. However, after reviewing the footage from the first shoot day, it was pretty clear that the iPhone wasn't giving us the results we needed. So for everything else, the Sony FX30 was used, and we just shot multiple times from multiple angles to get both the wide and zoomed in shots. After shoot day number 1, the filming setup was pretty consistent. The Sony FX30 on a tripod with a long cable running to the VideoMic Pro set up on a stand. A stand? You're probably wondering, why didn't I see the stand in the shot? Glad you asked. It actually was in the shot, and I knew that too. But the plan was to go into Adobe Shop afterwards and use their generative fill tool to create clean plates that let us completely remove the equipment. So that's what we did, and it worked. And that's why you don't see the microphone. If you look closely at this shot, you can see the bricks have some AI slop on them, and this is why. In fact, some shots had no removal at all, and you can see things like microphone cables in them. When it comes to the aerial shots for the transitions, I used the DJI Mini 3, which I just flew around the location after I got the presenter footage to get all the shots I need. In this transition, where the day becomes night as the camera tilts up towards the sky, was especially tricky. After I shot the daytime footage with the drone, I attempted to use VFX to turn it into nighttime, but it just didn't work. It was bad. So later that night, when it was completely dark, I went back to the same location and tried to copy the exact same movement, flying my drone up over the trees and get the same shot again. And somehow, I don't know how, but somehow it worked. And we're left with this pretty cool transition. Some shots weren't even filmed at the location that they were supposed to be at. Obviously, like the opening shot where I'm at Apple Park, this was shot on a green screen outdoors. But also this shot, where I'm standing in a soccer field. It was shot indoors, right here.
For such great features to work as well as possible, we needed powerful Apple silicon to make it possible. So, we created, there
actually was a real shot of me standing in the soccer field, talking, and it was great. However, on the day that the event was supposed to come out for Patreon members, I deleted it because it was a mistake. So I got to make it again in my room. I've been doing 3D product renders for a long time, and it's sort of why this whole project started. But one person wasn't enough for the 6 product reveals I needed in the time that we had. So I worked with Zell, who ended up creating the majority of the renders. It starts with the model, which is based on leaks we find from whatever reputable sources we can. We used a software called Blender, which is a super amazing program made by a super amazing company. After the models were fully made, we made materials. Material affects obvious things like color, but also the tiny bumps on models that make aluminum feel like aluminum and glass feel like glass. Also materials for the screen, where we could put anything we wanted. But for the iPhones, we used these awesome looking wallpapers made by Private Talkie. Each and every shot was then put into a render farm when we were done setting it up. The render farm we chose is called Sheepit. It's free and distributes every frame of our animations to other people's computers to render, meaning they render faster and give us more time to make more shots. To see our full Apple event recreation in 4K, you can click right here. And my Patreon members actually got to see the entire event early. So if you want to become a Patreon member, click right there. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, maybe even subscribe. Toodles.